Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's great morning for us to be gathered here again sa ating Your Health and USANA. So we're happy that you're here with us at this very moment because we have a special guest for you this morning. And of course, before we begin, I'd like to welcome all our participants who are in the call right now. So thank you very much for joining us at this juncture in time. No, I know it's a bit early. It's a bit early for us, and of course, we're here to learn more about our products here in USANA. And before we begin, I'd like to ask our participants to please key in our chat box. I'd like to know where you currently are right now. So I'd like to give a proper shout out to everyone who is in the call right now. So we have people coming in from all over the Philippines. We have from Iloilo. We also have from Dasmariñas, Cavite. We have from Calibo. Ayan. So we also have from Lapu-Lapu City, Cebu. Um, we have from Davao. Ayan. Welcome to our Your Health and USANA. So this morning, we also have all the way from Chicago. Ayan. So welcome po sa ating training session this morning. All the way from Japan. Ayan. So thank you very much for joining us this morning. And of course, we have a special guest with us this very important morning. So we have invited a very, I would say, a very pleasant person to talk with. No? She is our product safety specialist all the way from Salt Lake City. And she has worked in the different capacities of the pharmacy setting for the past 10 years. And she went on to graduate from the University of Utah College of Pharmacy in 2017. And she immediately began her work as a pharmacist in the commercial retail setting. Dr. Nazanin has also spent some time as an adjunct professor for Salt Lake City Community College. She trains future pharmacy technicians, and she has found quite a passion in teaching and training for those who want to join the healthcare field. Her time with USANA began in October of 2020, and she's excited to be here with us at this moment in time. So thank you very much for. I'd like for us to give a warm welcome for our guest this morning, Dr. Nahzaneed Aghdassi, our product safety specialist all the way from Salt Lake City, Utah. Hi, Naz. Good morning from our end of the world, and I think it's good evening from your side of the world as well.
Hello. Yes, thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be joining you guys today. Yes, and thank you for that lovely introduction. I feel you're giving me way more credit than I deserve, but I do appreciate that so much. Okay, let's share screen here. Yes, so my name is Nahzaneed. I go by Naz if that's easier. And yes, I'm the product safety specialist here at USANA. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today on this short presentation about sleep. And then we'll just do a small little tidbit at the end talking about the USANA Pure Rest SF product. So again, thank you everyone for joining me today. Really appreciate it. So sleep. What is sleep and why do we need it? So sleep is that important process that we all go through, usually every night, but I know a few of us will take naps here and there. And sleep is so important. It's that rejuvenating process that we go through to rejuvenate and restore from the day activities. So sleep affects how we look, how we feel, how we perform on a daily basis, and it can have an impact on, oops, sorry, I think my screen just popped out. Give me just a second here. And it can have an impact on our overall quality of life. So it can affect us physically. So it affects our how we maintain a healthy weight, cell repair, and body growth. And that becomes so important for children and young adults, especially those who are still growing. Sleep also affects us mentally, right? So it affects our memory, our problem solving ability. It helps us cope with stress, and it affects our mood. And a lot of us who have ever experienced a shortage of sleep definitely know what that's like to miss a day or two of sleep. So important, very important process. So we spend 1/3 of our lives sleeping, but it is far from unproductive. Our sleep time and quality plays a role in how full and energetic the other 2/3 of our lives can be. Right, so it's not just the amount of time we spend in sleep, it's the quality of sleep. The amount of time we spend in each process of sleep is so important. And we'll talk about the different phases of sleep and how important they are. When sleep is cut short, the body doesn't have time to complete all the phases needed for muscle repair, memory consolidation, and the release of hormones regulating growth and appetite. And remember that growth is super important again for when we have growing adults and children, and ourselves as well as adults. So we have two main phases of sleep. So just a quick review on non-rapid eye movement, or NREM sleep, and rapid eye movement sleep, or REM sleep. So let's talk first about NREM sleep. So NREM sleep, again, is one phase of sleep, but it's divided into 3 different stages of sleep. So we spend about 75% of the night in NREM sleep. So we have stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. As seen on the graphs here, stage 1 and stage 2 really correlate with more of what's called light sleep, and stage 3 is more of a deep sleep. Stage 1 sleep, really as we start to enter into sleep, as our body starts to relax and hit the pillow and we start going into sleep, this is stage 1 sleep. This is non-rapid eye movement sleep. It lasts 5 to 10 minutes. In stage 1 sleep, our heartbeat, our breathing, and our eye movements begin to slow. Our muscles relax with occasional twitches. And then we enter into what's called stage 2 sleep. So this is just the next stage of NREM sleep. It lasts 30 to 60 minutes. Our heartbeat and breathing slow down even further. Our muscles will also relax even further. And this is when our body temperature begins to drop and our eye movements stop. So again, stage 1 and stage 2, more of a light sleep. People can be easily awakened from these 2 stages. And then we hit what's called stage 3. This is another critical stage of sleep. This is more of a deep sleep. It lasts 20 to 40 minutes. Our heartbeat and breathing slow down to the lowest levels of sleep. There's a lack of eye movement or muscle activity. And again, it's very difficult to wake people up from this stage of sleep. And stage 3 of sleep occurs in longer periods during the first half of the night compared to the stage 3 sleeps of the later half of the night. And this stage is really what's needed to feel really refreshed in the morning. Now, all stages are needed, but really stage 3 is that critical stage for feeling refreshed. So again, stage 1, 2, and 3 of non-rapid eye movement sleep. So now let's talk about rapid eye movement sleep. So that's REM sleep. So in REM, 25% of the night is spent here, and our brain activity will pick up during this time. And your sleep is not as deep during REM sleep. So it first occurs about 90 minutes after falling asleep. This is just averages, right? Everybody's is a little bit different. And then it will reoccur about every 90 minutes, getting longer and longer throughout the night. So it's opposite of that stage 3 sleep. Heart rate and blood pressure increases to near that of waking levels. Our brain activity matches that of waking levels. Breathing becomes faster and irregular, giving it its name of rapid eye movement. Our eyes move from side to side, and our leg and our arm muscles become temporarily paralyzed during REM, and this is to stop us from acting out our dreams. So, speaking of dreams, just a little bit of sleep trivia for you guys. In which stage of sleep do you guys think dreams occur? NREM or REM? So for those of you that said REM sleep, you weren't wrong, but really dreams can happen in any stage of sleep. It's just that most of our dreaming will happen in REM. It's a little bit of a trick question there. Okay, and what initiates sleep? What's that signal that tells your body, hey, it's time to go to bed, it's time to go to sleep? And the answer is darkness. So darkness stimulates melatonin production, which helps us sleep at night. So this is referring to our sleep-wake cycle. So this is our circadian rhythm that tells the body when it's time for sleep versus when it's time to be awake. So when the sun goes down, our body will start to release melatonin. And melatonin is a hormone made by the pineal gland, so a little that sits up in your brain. And when released into the bloodstream, it promotes sleep. With the release of melatonin, we also get a dip in our blood pressure and also a decrease in our body temperature at night. So to turn off this melatonin production and to get us to wake up, we have light. Light inhibits melatonin production. So as the sun rises, it tells our body then to stop making melatonin, and then we eventually wake up. The problem with what we are seeing today is that our electronic devices are interfering with that process. So for those of you who are like me, I'm very guilty of taking my phone to the bed or the laptop to the bed. And this is actually very detrimental to our sleep because our electronic devices are interfering with that process. They reduce or delay the production of melatonin. And this has to do with that blue light that's emitted from a lot of these electronic devices. That blue light is a short wavelength light that's been shown to actually inhibit the production of melatonin. So a lot of times we don't fall asleep. It's interfering with that process. And children are actually the most susceptible to this. So we got to be super careful with our younger generation and their exposure to these devices at night. Well, how does a lack of sleep or even sleep quality, remember we need both time in sleep and quality of sleep, affect your body? Sleep plays a very important role in immune support. So poor sleep decreases our immune response. So we get less immune cell activity. And interestingly enough, this is a bidirectional process. So a lack of sleep can affect our immune cell activity, but those times that we see that we are infected and our immune system revs into high gear, this actually affects the nature of our sleep. So we will start to spend more time in that stage 3 sleep. Do you guys remember it was that deep sleep process? So this will allow our body more time to slow down and basically drop our body temperature, drop our blood pressure, so that more energy can be kind of shunted off to the immune system, and it can help fight whatever infection that we're going through. So really interesting. So sleep, operating on little sleep can result in less focused thoughts and slower reaction times. In fact, some studies show that sleep deprivation can impair your ability to drive in the same way as drinking too much alcohol impairs your ability. In fact, the Center for Disease Control here in the United States compares being awake for 24 hours to having a blood alcohol content of 0.10%. just as a side note, the blood alcohol content where it's legal to drive is 0.08%. So being awake for 24 hours is equal to having blood alcohol levels where it impairs your ability to a point that it's illegal to drive here in the United States. So really, really, really important to get enough sleep. So how much sleep do we need? For those of you who have children or have been around children, you'll notice that newborns and our younger kids need a lot more sleep than we do as adults. And for those of us with parents or aging parents, or if we're happen to be getting a little older ourselves, you'll notice that your sleep time actually decreases as you get older as well. So when we start off in this world, we need about 14 to 17 hours of sleep per night. And then we'll see, or per every day, then we'll see that that decreases as we get older, with adults needing about 7 hours of sleep per night. So what are some exercising daily also promotes good sleep at night, as long as we try to keep that exercise not at the same time or not near the time of sleep. Avoiding napping and caffeine throughout the day, especially late in the afternoon. Finding a relaxing bedtime ritual and winding down before bed is super important, especially excluding electronic devices for that bedtime ritual is super important, as we talked about before, in order to get that melatonin in a cool, dark, quiet, distraction-free room. So essential, often very hard to do as you're winding down, but really so important, as we talked about. Sleeping on a comfortable bed with pillows, preferably on your back if that's what your doctor advises. Managing the light and darkness in your home and bedroom is necessary. So too much light exposure late at night can also inhibit melatonin production. Avoiding alcohol, cigarettes, heavy meals, and large amounts of water in the evening. Drinking too much water can actually make you want to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and this can actually interfere your sleep and affect sleep quality. If you can't sleep, go to another room until you can adequately wind down and then go back to your bedroom. Try to reserve your bedroom only for sleeping, and using melatonin to promote natural sleep cycles when necessary. So melatonin promotes natural sleep cycles. And in fact, we find melatonin in certain foods. So it occurs naturally in certain foods. So we see it in varieties of red grapes, in tart cherries, milk. Sometimes we can see, sometimes people will go warm up a glass of milk and drink it right before bed. Especially those cows that are milked at night. We find a good amount of melatonin in the milk. Certain nuts like walnuts do have a certain amount of melatonin as well. We can also add tryptophan to our diet. Tryptophan is a precursor to melatonin. So eggs, poultry, chickpeas, dairy products, these can all help us feel potentially a little bit more tired. But remember, not eating too much before bed, because that can affect our sleep hygiene. So if we ever find ourselves in a situation where we want to supplement melatonin, a typical amount is usually around 0.5 to 5 milligrams, and this appears to be safe and effective. Melatonin helps alleviate occasional sleeplessness. So where this can be especially important are the occasional sleeplessness that comes with jet lag and shift work. So we have seen some real benefits there with melatonin. So supplementing melatonin to support normal sleep, taking melatonin about 60 minutes before bedtime is what's suggested. And so a little plug here for the USANA Pure Rest SF product. The Pure Rest SF product supports natural sleep processes. Our product contains melatonin in a sugar-free tablet to help maintain normal sleep. So you can customize your dose in that they're easily split in half. Each tablet is easily split So you can take half to one dissolvable tablet as indicated on the product label. Each one of those melatonin tablets contain 2 milligrams. So you can take 1 milligram to 2 milligrams of melatonin. So each sugar-free tablet is made from non-animal sources. And of course, it meets our high standards. Pure Rest SF is orange flavored and sugar-free. So that's kind of nice and special there. And again, half to one tablets as needed. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate everyone joining me today. And I hope you learned something about the importance of sleep.
Thank you very much, Naz, for enlightening us a lot about sleep. All the information that we have are actually very, very useful, especially for those of us who are really affected by a lot of usage of mobile devices before sleeping. And of course, the tips to having better sleep hygiene is actually very, very informative. I do believe that our associates have some questions. So if you have any questions, please send me the question so I can route it to Naz at this moment in time. So I received a question earlier. I think when you were talking about the circadian rhythm. So one of our associates, Sergio, was asking because so here's his question. So I work in the BPO industry and I've worked night shifts for the past 12 years. So that's quite a long time. And I usually take the Purest SF to help me sleep. My question is the Purest SF less effective because I'm taking it to sleep in the morning or somewhere mid morning than if I take it in the evening?
Gosh, that's a great question. I think with a lot of these dose adjustment questions, I would strongly encourage talking to your doctor about this. I'm a little bit hesitant to make any sort of specific guidance on it. But definitely, if what you're doing now is not working, consulting with your doctor can definitely help with that dose adjustment and seeing maybe what the doctor suggests. I apologize, I can't give more information than that. But 12 years, man, working as with shift work, that's very honorable and very, very difficult. But yeah, please talk to your doctor and perhaps they can adjust your dose a little and see if they can customize it to help you out, especially if you're seeing some, if it's not helping currently.
Okay, so there you go, Sergio. You may ask your physician regarding this particular intake of our Purest SF to help you sleep within the day. So our next question is actually coming from Miss Honey. This is pertaining to one of the topics that you talked about earlier. Is it normal to sleep without dreams?
From what I understand, a lot of times everyone dreams. It's just a matter of remembering the dream in the morning. So not everyone is capable of remembering the dream. Some of those dreams leave large impacts on us or are very significant, so we can remember it. I'm not sure if there's cases where we can prove that someone hasn't had a dream. Certainly our brain activity is very active, again, to that of waking state during REM. But I think the biggest thing that we see with people that say they don't dream is that generally they don't remember the dream. But yeah, that's a great question. I would be interested to know if they could prove that people actually don't dream at all. It would be really interesting to know.
So okay, we have more questions coming in from our associates. So I think we can take some more because we still have a little bit more time. So we have a question here coming from Mel. What is the difference in taking melatonin under the tongue versus swallowing the whole tablet?
So yeah, that just has to do with how the tablet is made. So if it is a sublingual tablet, one that you can put under the tongue, it actually gets absorbed faster. So in that case, it bypasses our digestive tract and goes directly into the bloodstream. All the tablets that we take by mouth go through the digestive tract. So it takes a while for it to go down the esophagus, into the stomach, into the small intestine, and then from the small intestine absorbed into the bloodstream. So for those types that we want to feel the effect a little bit quicker, we will formulate a dissolvable under the tongue tablet to get those effects a little bit quicker. Great question.
Okay, so there you go. It actually has something to do with the absorption of the melatonin in the body. So we get melatonin faster if we put it under the tongue, and it goes through a journey if we swallow it. Still, it goes to the digestive tract. So that's why we put it under the tongue so that we get the effect that we want to. We get to feel the benefits of the supplement. Okay, we also have a few more questions. Will taking more than one tablet of Pure Rest make me sleepier?
So we can't promote taking more than one because that is all that has been approved, right, for the Philippines market. Definitely taking more melatonin equals more sleepiness, but that is not what's indicated on our bottles. So what's indicated is half to one tablet. Of course, discussing this with your doctor and getting advice from your doctor is a whole different arena. So under the supervision of a doctor, it's a completely different area. But for supplemental use, USANA products, only half to one tablet. That's all we can promote. That's a great question. Really, really good to know.
So speaking of the intake of the tablets, an associate is asking if we can if children are allowed to take the Purest SF.
No, the Pure Rest SF is only indicated for adults. Our products specifically. Now, you will see melatonin products out there that are indicated for children, but they have to be indicated for children. But the Pure Rest product, I believe, is an adult dosing only.
Okay, so I hope we clarify that one. Children are not allowed to take our Purest SF. And a follow-up question from Ruben. Can this product be taken on a daily basis?
Yes, it's as needed. If you feel like you need it daily, definitely, I think if you're finding that you're taking it daily and it's not working, that is the time to talk to a doctor. That is the time that perhaps the melatonin is not sufficient to meet the needs. Maybe something more serious is going on. So I think if you get to a point where you're taking it every day and it's not working, I would recommend talking to your doctor at that point. But definitely what's encouraged is as needed when we're talking about taking the melatonin tablet.
Okay, so there you go. You can actually take it on a daily basis, but if it's really persistent, it would be ideal also if you consult with your physician regarding your sleeplessness. Okay, so we have another question. I think this is the last one that we'll be taking for this morning. I already feel sleepy. If I take any more Pure Rest, will I be sleepier? And if will it cause a problem while I'm driving?
If you're already feeling sleepy, please don't take more Pure Rest. Really, I wouldn't encourage that. Again, I know I keep saying go to the doctor, but if you're feeling sleepy, don't take more melatonin in that case. Definitely go talk to the doctor. And definitely don't drive if you're feeling sleepy and take melatonin on top of it. That's for your own safety and for the safety of those around you. Melatonin, our product is safe and definitely safe to take it at bedtime is really when it's time to sleep is really what's encouraged. But if you're feeling sleepy and if you take melatonin on top of it, I really encourage you to talk to your doctor to figure out why you're feeling sleepy, and trying not to supplement that or making it worse in that case.
Okay, so thank you very much, Naz, for answering the questions from our associates. So I think
Thank you.
we greatly appreciate your time and, of course, your expertise regarding the matter. It's been a wonderful morning learning from you, most especially for people who, like me, really love to sleep. A lot of us can relate to the many suggestions that you gave regarding how we can sleep better, what food we can eat so that we can help also with our circadian rhythm. Thank you very much for the wonderful training that you gave us this morning. Uh, so we're currently live in Facebook right now. We have 100 plus participants joining us via Facebook Live, and we have around 70 participants here in our Zoom call. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us this morning together with Dr. Nahzaneed Aghdassi, our product safety specialist, who talked about our Pure Rest SF. So thank you very much, everyone. We hope to see
Thank you so much. Really
in
appreciate
future
it.
trainings like this one. So stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe. Have a
Get
great
some sleep.